Threat log urgent. Terrestrial quadruped, predatory teeth, pack instincts, and weaponized affection. Recommend immediate classification.
Only minutes earlier, Ambassador Vexel had been leading a first contact tour through the diplomatic compound. The courtyard was designed to impress.
Stop. That creature, the jaw structure, the eye placement, it's a predator.
What is this? That face. It's showing its weapons.
Whoa, whoa. He's friendly. This is Buddy, my dog. He just wants to say hi.
It's wagging its tail. Some kind of hunting signal. Everyone stay back.
No, Commander. This is worse. I've studied Earth fauna. That species, Canis lupus familiaris, was bred from wolves. They're pack hunters, and humans keep them as companions?
The humans call it a pet, but its design says weapon. I am filing a formal threat assessment. This must reach the High Council.
The courtyard had fallen silent. Sarah knelt beside Buddy. Bewildered, the delegation had retreated to the conference room, already drafting their report.
Classify under Category 5 Psychological Threat. Title: Weapon of Mass Affection. File immediately.
The compound felt different now. Solara moved quickly past the glass walls, watching the huddle of alien delegates through the transparent meeting room. Their postures spelled panic.
Director Solara, we have filed a Category 5 threat report. Your pet has triggered every physiological alarm in our delegation. This must be investigated.
Ambassador, I assure you, a golden retriever is no more dangerous than a stuffed toy. There's been a grave misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? Director, the creature descends from apex pack hunters. Its jaw strength alone can crush bone, and you've bred it to seek affection. That is not misunderstanding. It's weaponized domestication.
I recommend immediate quarantine. That animal could be a scout, a biological probe designed to lower our defenses. We cannot let it roam freely.
Quarantine? He's my dog. He sleeps in my bed. Look at him. He wouldn't hurt a fly. You've got this all wrong.
Let's all take a breath. I propose a formal meeting this evening to address your concerns scientifically. We'll provide full biological data, historical context, no quarantine.
Fine. But the report stands until we are satisfied. Your species' habit of turning predators into companions is alarming. We need explanations.
And so the meeting was set. As the alien delegation withdrew to their quarters, the human staff huddled in the courtyard, Buddy wagging his tail at their feet, utterly oblivious to the diplomatic earthquake he had triggered.
How can they not see it? He's just love in a fur coat.
The meeting began not with polite diplomacy, but with a biological indictment. Dr. Kale projected a canine skeleton onto the central hollow screen, red markers highlighting each killing feature.
42 teeth. Canines capable of shearing flesh. Bite force of 230 psi. Binocular vision optimized for pursuit. This is not a companion animal, it is a precision kill package.
And that tail movement, our motion analysis confirms it's a camouflage tactic. It signals harmless, while the dog's body remains coiled for attack. It's trying to make us lower our guard.
That's crazy. Look, watch this, Buddy. Sit.
It obeys a verbal kill switch, you command, and it immobilizes itself. Then what? Attack. How many combat commands does it know?
No. It's a trick. A game. Look, Buddy. Fetch.
And now it retrieves a target. In a combat zone. That could be an explosive, a grenade. You've trained it for ordnance recovery.
It's a toy. He's bringing me a toy. How can you not see the difference?
We do see the difference. But we also see the design. You took a wolf, a pure predator, and over millennia selectively bred it for docility toward you, while keeping its lethality intact. That isn't domestication, it's psychological engineering.
Enough. Your demonstrations have only deepened our concerns. I am authorizing a full threat investigation. Until then, that creature will be monitored at all times.
The following day, the delegation reconvened. Dr. Kale now presented a comprehensive threat analysis, extending beyond the canine to other Earth species, The holoprojectors glowed with new evidence.
Equus ferus caballus. You call it a horse. We classify it as tactical mobility platform. It carried human armies across continents. You even armored it for war.
That was centuries ago. Horses are now companions, sport animals. They symbolize freedom, not warfare.
And yet humans still ride them, still command them with leg pressure and reins. How is that different from controlling a combat mount?
Then the hologram shifted to a feline, sleek and fluid. Dr. Kale called up a diagram of sharp retractable claws and night vision eyes.
Felis catus, a stealth predator you invited into your homes. It kills without hunger, and you reward it. You've domesticated a creature that tortures for pleasure.
Cats were they kept rodents away. It was mutual benefit. They chose to live with us.
Mutual? You feed it, shelter it, and it purrs on your lap while dreaming of the hunt. It is an assassin you keep for psychological comfort. Falco peregrinus. An aerial kinetic weapon you deploy from your wrist to intercept other airborne targets. You trained it to kill and return to your fist.
So, we see the pattern. You have taken predators from land, stealth, and air, and made them your partners. Director Solara, your species doesn't just coexist with danger, you recruit it. What else have you weaponized?
At dawn, an encrypted burst from the compound's server room uploaded a 30-second audio file. By breakfast, it was trending across 5 continents. The file contained Ambassador Vexel's own voice, Category 5, Psychological Threat, Title, Weapon of Mass Affection.
How did this get out? We're still in the middle of negotiations, Marco. Find the source immediately.
Your species mocks us by leaking classified threat data for entertainment. This is a diplomatic outrage.
Within hours, Dog of Mass Affection was the #1 trending topic in both human and Concordat networks. Memes flooded every platform.
They've turned our report into a joke. There are animated versions of the dog. It's being sold as plush toys. This is surreal.
We demand to know who leaked this, and we demand an immediate public retraction. This cannot continue.
I am launching an internal investigation, but a retraction would only amplify the story. The more we fight it, the more attention it gets.
Outside the compound gates, hover trucks with satellite dishes lined the street. Journalists from a dozen species shouted questions at the closed glass doors.
If this mockery continues, our mission here is over. You have one day to contain this circus, or the Concordat will consider Earth a hostile psychological theater.
The ultimatum hung in the air. Within the hour, Vexel formalized his demand in a closed session with Solara.
For the safety of this delegation, I am ordering the immediate quarantine of the canine, effective now.
We don't quarantine our friends, Ambassador. That dog is not a threat, and I will not treat him like one.
Unnoticed by either side, Junior Aide Lear stood at the back of the room, watching the golden retriever through the glass courtyard doors.
It's just sitting there. No armor, no weapons. How can a predator be so still?
That evening, Lear slipped away and found the dog in the courtyard, alone except for the fading sunlight.
Hello, little weapon. You don't seem so dangerous.
Buddy stretched his neck and gave her hand a single, warm lick. Lear flinched, then let out a soft, surprised laugh.
Warm. Not a trick. It feels nice. What is this? You touched it? By the ancestors. Lear, it could have imprinted on you. We need a full psych scan immediately.
Dr. Kale spent the night analyzing the dog's saliva. No psychotropic agents, no chemical inducements, just the ordinary slobber of a predator that should not exist.
Nothing. No chemical explanation for Lear's reaction. The creature is simply authentic, which makes it an even more effective psychological weapon.
The next morning, the delegation assembled in the courtyard, wearing protective suits. Commander Zek had prepared a final demonstration.
We will simulate a hostile engagement. The drone will approach the human. Let us observe the creature's true programming.
The drone swooped toward Sarah. In a blur, the golden retriever planted its feet, growl low, teeth bared, positioning its body between the human and the threat.
Buddy, no. It's just a test.
Then, at a signal from Zek, the drone powered down. The dog's aggression vanished instantly, tail wagging, tongue lolling, nuzzling Sarah's hand as if nothing had happened.
It shifted from lethal to affectionate in under a second. No refractory period. That kind of emotional control is not natural. It must be engineered.
It can kill and then smile. That's not a pet. That's an operator. This changes everything. Revise the threat level.
By afternoon, the report was updated. The golden retriever was now classified as a Class -4 psychological asset, a dual-state weapon capable of lethal protection and disarming affection on command. That night, Dr. Kale added a final section to her analysis. The hologram displayed a new term, affection override mechanism.
The canine voluntarily suppresses its lethal instincts when bonded to a human. It is not drugged. It chooses to be harmless. That is not natural. It is engineered devotion.
The news cycle spun the phrase into a viral headline. Love bomb segments flooded the hollow networks, complete with slow-motion replays of the drone incident.
These headlines, love bomb, they mock us. Your species turns our threat assessment into entertainment while our scientists tremble at the implications.
Solara offered no rebuttal. The evidence was too compelling, the narrative too tight.
Sarah, this report might permanently color human-alien relations. They see us as affection engineers. It's not a misunderstanding anymore. It's a diplomatic classification.
He's just a dog, Director. He didn't ask to be born with teeth. He just loves people.
But the report was already sealed. The golden retriever was now officially a Class -4 psychological asset, an affection weapon without precedent. Earth's public image solidified into something absurd yet inescapable. Adorable psychopaths who had weaponized a predator's devotion. The compound gates remained locked. The delegation stayed in their quarters. The concorded threat report, now nearly complete, awaited only a final signature. Ambassador Vexel demanded a final test. He would meet the creature alone, without handlers, in a sealed room.
I will provoke it myself. No handlers. If it is a weapon, let it strike. If not, then my own fear is the only threat.
The observation room was bare. Vexel stood rigid as the door opened, and the golden retriever padded in. The dog sniffed, tail wagging, then lay down with a contented sigh. No aggression. Vexel extended a 3-fingered hand. A warm tongue lapped at his fingers. Then the creature rolled onto its back, belly exposed, the most vulnerable pose a predator could offer.
This is not deception. It is offering its life to me, and expecting affection in return.
Vexel knelt. The dog wriggled closer, pressing its head against his chest.
I filed a threat report against this creature. The report is a monument to our fear, not its danger.
When the door opened, the delegation saw their ambassador. His eyes held not fear, but wonder, and they did not know what to do. The delegation sealed themselves in a private conference room. Zek's voice cut through first.
Your calm is proof of its danger. That creature has compromised you. Psychologically, the gentleness is just camouflage.
He's right, Ambassador. My data shows the affection trigger is real. That doesn't cancel the threat. It amplifies it. You are experiencing the very effect we warned about.
I felt it too, but it wasn't an attack. It was warmth. Maybe we're misinterpreting the whole phenomenon.
Enough. The report will not be dismissed, but we will state the truth. This is a predator that chooses love, and that choice is more terrifying than any weapon.
Dr. Kale began editing the conclusion. Her screen displayed the revised line in cold alien script.
The risk is that this reads as an endorsement, but the evidence forces it. A species that can turn apex predators into devoted allies must be treated with extreme caution.
The hologram stabilized. A new conclusion. Preliminary threat assessment addendum. Earth domestication practices constitute a Class -4 psychological anomaly. Recommendation: do not provoke. The delegation dispersed in silence. Vexel remained, staring at the document. Tomorrow he would hand it to the humans. The morning came cold and bright. Solara received the Concordat delegation in the main conference room, human staff arrayed behind her.
Director Solara, the Concordat threat assessment is complete. We have filed a Class -4 psychological classification. The conclusion is unambiguous.
Solara accepted the data slate. Her lips moved as she read the key passage aloud. A species that turns apex predators into devoted allies through millennia of selective breeding represents an unprecedented psychological anomaly. We recommend extreme caution and non-aggression. Do not provoke.
But he's just Buddy. He's not a weapon, he's never hurt anyone.
To them, he's a diplomatic minefield. And that minefield now has an official classification. We have to respond carefully.
We do not make threats, Director. We only warn. Your species has done something we cannot replicate. That is terrifying.
Dr. Kale added a final note. The report does not recommend severing relations, only extreme caution. Earth is not an enemy, but a psychological puzzle.
We will issue a formal response, but I will be clear, we will not apologize for our way of life. We did not make a weapon. We made a friend.
The report hung in the air, a document that would reshape Earth's place in the galaxy. Buddy, oblivious, wagged his tail at Sarah's feet.
For thousands of years, we walked beside creatures we once feared. We offered trust, and they gave loyalty. That is not a weapon. It's the oldest treaty on Earth.
A beautiful sentiment, Director. But it does not change the biological facts. Your treaty is written in teeth and claws.
We observed the creature switch from play to attack in an instant. Sentiment does not disarm a threat assessment.
You don't understand. He's not switching anything, he just protects who he loves.
Then go, Ambassador. Return to your Concordat. But remember, we did not engineer a weapon. We simply learned to love something dangerous, and that love changed us.
We will remember, Director. Our report will stand, but so will our respect for your species anomaly.
The delegation rose. Their biosuits crackled as they moved toward the doors. The report hovered, unchanged, above the table. Sarah buried her face in Buddy's neck. Her tears dampened his golden fur. He licked her cheek, confused but present. Outside, the Concordat cruiser hummed to life. Media drones swarmed at a safe distance. The threat report was final. The mission, over.
We didn't win. We didn't lose. We just became a legend they'll struggle to believe.
In the shuttle bay corridor, Junior Aide Lear broke protocol and ran toward Sarah, her boots echoing on the metal deck. The golden retriever turned, tail wagging.
I brought something for the friend maker.
She pressed a small, bioluminescent chew toy into Sarah's palm. A folded note was attached, its ink still wet in Earth script. He is not a weapon. He is what we fear losing.
I don't know what to say. Thank you. This means more than you know.
Commander Zek observed from the hatchway, arms crossed. His scarred face was unreadable.
You have been compromised, Aide, but I will not report it. Not this time.
In the embarkation corridor, Ambassador Vexel halted by a viewport. Through the glass, the golden retriever sat in the courtyard below, small and bright.
We were right to be afraid, but not of the creature.
The Concordat cruiser lifted off with a subsonic hum. In the courtyard, Buddy watched the streak of light ascend, tail wagging in slow, puzzled rhythm, until it vanished among the stars. Aboard the Concordat cruiser, the bridge hummed with the silence of deep space. Ambassador Vexel sat alone, the final threat report floating before him.
I have met the creature. Its affection is genuine. That is the horror. Add this to the report, Dr. Kale.
Dr. Kale's fingers hesitated above the holographic keyboard, then keyed in the addition. The document pulsed once, red seal materializing across its surface. Top secret. Level -5 psycho-lethal threat. The classification was absolute. Final conclusion. A species that turns predators into friends should never be made an enemy. We recommend immediate classification and extreme caution. Vexil pressed his palm to the console. The encrypted burst streamed toward Concordat High Command, a message that would reshape galactic threat matrices. In his quarters later, Vexil opened a small stasis case. Inside, a single tuft of golden fur caught the starlight. He had found it on his robe after leaving the observation room.
A relic of the enemy that never attacked.
The warning poster on the bulkhead outside his door was already being updated. The silhouette of a golden retriever, inside a red circle with a diagonal line, and beneath it, caution, psychological threat. The cruiser pulled deeper into the void. Behind it, Earth's sun was just another star. The report was away. The world that bred dogs remained. 3 days after the departure, the media trucks had peeled away. In the director's office, a single encrypted message blinked on the console. Concordat follow-up. We recommend cordial relations. No further contact necessary. Ever.
Well, they've made their position clear. We're not enemies. We're just too psychologically confusing to be allies.
They really don't want to be friends? After everything, they're just going to stay away.
They're afraid of what we can do with a warm tongue and a wagging tail. That kind of threat doesn't go away.
Then I guess we'll just have to be frighteningly adorable. Come here, buddy.
She gave him the treat. He took it delicately, tail slapping the floor, the alien chew toy still clutched between his paws.
Congratulations, Earth. We're officially too friendly to fight. That's a peace treaty of its own.
The golden retriever chewed the bioluminescent toy, utterly indifferent to the diplomatic earthquake he had caused. His tail wagged, and the universe simply had to accept that this was Earth's most dangerous weapon. And Earth remained, with its dogs and its horses and its falcons, a single stubborn planet that had chosen affection as its greatest defense. The galaxy would just have to live with it. A year passed. The media storm became a gentle breeze. The compound's gates reopened to a galaxy that had learned to chuckle at the phrase weapon of mass affection.
Look, they're still talking about you. You are famous, buddy. Remember when a global incident almost started over him? I still can't believe they classified him as a level -5 threat.
To be fair, he did terrify a whole delegation. That takes talent.
Buddy offered his paw in a practiced high five, the same gesture that had once been misinterpreted as a combat command. And in the Galactic Council's quiet archives, a new entry appeared beside Earth's coordinates. Approach with caution. Affection may ensue.
That's us. The species that weaponized cuddles.
Buddy, of course, cared only about the next game of fetch. He chased a ball across the same courtyard where ambassadors had once recoiled, and as he dropped the slobbery sphere at Sarah's feet, tail a blur, it was clear that the most powerful weapon in the galaxy was a friend. The shuttle that landed a year later was small, unmarked, and wholly unofficial. It touched down without ceremony on the compound's old pad. Ambassador Vexil stepped out alone, dressed in simple traveler's robes. Solara met him at the edge of the courtyard with a guarded nod. He found Sarah and Buddy in the courtyard. The dog's muzzle was grayer now, but his tail still beat a joyful rhythm against the grass.
Ambassador Vexil, I didn't know you were coming.
I came to see him, unofficially. For a long time, I couldn't reconcile the report with what I felt. I think I understand now. It's not a weapon, it's a choice. You chose to make a friend, and the creature chose to be one. My report was accurate, but it missed the value of trust.
That's all it ever was. He's just a friend.
Vexil rose slowly. From a fold of his robe, he withdrew a small data chip and placed it in Sarah's palm. On it, a single image, the golden retriever, tail wagging, captured in the observation room. Handwritten beneath in Vexil's own script. Not a threat. He departed the same way he had arrived, quietly. Buddy watched from the courtyard, tail wagging slow, as another streak of light climbed through the stars. 50 years later, the Concordat declassified the canine threat, 001, file as a historical curiosity. Alien academics debated the report in bemused tones. A level -5 psychological threat for a wagging tail, A museum exhibit on the incident displayed Buddy's photo alongside the original report. Visitors smiled at the small, furry weapon. The phrase, weapon of mass affection, entered galactic slang. It meant something unexpectedly disarming, something that won through kindness. Earth's isolation thawed. First contact protocols now included a warning: expect dogs, do not panic. Buddy had long since crossed the Rainbow Bridge, but his legacy lived on. Every dog on Earth was by Concordat reckoning a weapon that never fired. And that was the point. The most terrifying thing about humans wasn't their technology or ambition. It was that they had spent millennia teaching love to predators. In the end, the Concordat never apologized, and Earth never asked them to. The report stood as a historical oddity, a punchline for ages, and somewhere in the universe, a golden retriever was sleeping peacefully, tail wagging, entirely unaware of his own weaponized cuteness. That was Earth's greatest weapon, a friend. Decades later, in a quiet corner of the Earth diplomatic compound, Sarah sat with Buddy, now an old dog with a graying muzzle.
You know, they once filed a formal threat report on him, level 5 psychological threat. I still have the document framed somewhere.
A young staffer, fresh from orientation, looked from the sleeping dog to the framed report, then back at the dog. The disconnect was almost too much.
They still are, technically. The Concordat never officially rescinded the classification. Every dog on Earth is still a weapon of mass affection.
Buddy, half awake, lifted a paw in a sleepy high five, the same gesture that had once been interpreted as a combat command.
But he's always just been a friend. That's the whole point, you know? They were scared of the wrong thing.
The new staffer smiled, and suddenly the whole absurd history made perfect sense. The dog's tail thumped once against the cushions. Even in sleep, he was still deploying his most dangerous weapon. And so the legend of the golden retriever, who terrified empires, lived on. A quiet reminder that the universe's most potent force was not firepower, but a wagging tail. Nothing had really changed, and that was exactly the way Sarah liked it. On Earth, a child rode a horse through a sunlit field, laughing. The horse, once labeled a mobility platform, simply enjoyed the run. A falconer raised her hand, and a peregrine launched. The aerogrin launched. The aerial kinetic weapon now soared for the joy of flight. A cat purred on a researcher's lap, claws retracted, a stealth assassin that chose warmth over the hunt. The Concordat never forgot their level -5 threat report. But Earth never changed. On the Galactic Council's map, Earth's coordinates still glowed. Caution, affection may ensue. Do not threaten. And somewhere, a golden retriever's tail wagged, sweeping aside the shadows of old diplomatic storms. The threat report became a footnote, a punchline that taught the galaxy an unexpected lesson. Humanity's greatest weapon was never a weapon. It was the ability to make a friend out of danger. The dog dreamed of chasing balls, utterly indifferent to his own legend, and the universe, for its part, had learned to smile at the small, furry shape of peace. Decades later, a young Concordat envoy sat in a quiet archive, scrolling through declassified files. He paused at Canine Threat 001. The original level -5 designation glowed in archaic red. The young envoy read, then made a sound, an alien equivalent of a chuckle. The urgent report felt like a joke told across generations. He summoned a holographic keyboard and added a line at the bottom. Recommend reclassification. Companionship entity. No threat. The file updated. The red warning symbols faded to gold. He closed the file with a final annotation. Case closed. Pet recognized. Outside the archive, a warning poster still hung, its dog silhouette now more whimsical than threatening. The envoy smiled again, a subtle expression, and moved to the next file. The galaxy had evolved from fear to amusement, and somewhere, on a distant planet, a dog's tail wagged in the sun. The report that once shook the galaxy gathered dust in 1,000 archives. The golden retriever, though, had long since moved on from the politics. He lived for tennis balls and ear scratches, his morning walk, his dinner bowl. So the Concordat's most serious classification became the universe's most beloved joke, and the galaxy learned. A wagging tail was the universe's most disarming force. Thus the final warning, to all who encounter it: this weapon only fires love. The golden retriever wagged, oblivious, still guarding the treaty of affection, and the legend of the weapon of mass affection lived on in every wag, every lick, every trusting gaze, a small furry shape that had taught the galaxy the meaning of trust and the power of a friend. The weapon of mass affection, classified threat no more.